against me all day long, but I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. And my feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at and turn it back around. You can't stop me.
Hi everybody, it's me again, Jamie, Dutchcraft Builders. Look what we've made this last couple of weeks. This is almost ready to be poured. This is going to be the 2 bedrooms because we are pouring in 4 sections the rest of the house so we can keep reusing our formwork materials. I'll show you something about what we did upstairs. Come along. So this is the way we make our ceilings, our formwork. In this case, the beams are integrated with the slab itself. It's going to be in one pour. This is going to be all pumped full of concrete with the pump truck. Now, what I would like to show is, for instance, these corners here. You see the function of a beam is pretty important. It's to hold the whole structure together, hold the columns together. You see, because you have in this area in Las Terrenas every now and then a little bit of earth movement. Not really earthquakes, but some movements, and your structure needs to be able to cope with that. So we make columns to strengthen our construction. And these corners, as you can probably imagine, are very important. Now, that's why we make them out of one piece, bend them all the way around. So this is solid. This is one solid beam. What you see a lot, unfortunately, what I've seen a lot in other constructions, where they end a piece of rebar on the column and then put another one on top of it, but that can just move. That's not the way to do it. It's a very important part of the structure. What you also see a lot is that people running water drainage pipes through the beam. Like, for instance, right here, they will put a 4-inch pipe. You see that a lot, and that's well, that's not the way to go. The beam needs to be solid. So if you would like to have water drainage without being able to see a pipe, you should make, like, for instance, a shaft on the inside of the beam to have water drainage go down here, or just on the outside. One of the two, not through the beam. That's a bad idea. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the water drainage on the outside of the wall. It doesn't need to be of a plastic PVC pipe. There are all kinds of beautiful materials to work with, even copper, aluminum. There are all kinds of ways, but not through the beam. That's a no-go. Yeah, so what you probably noticed is that we are already building the roof without there even being any walls made in this house. That's because this whole structure is made to be carried loads. All loads are being carried by the columns, and the columns transfer directly to the footings. So there's no walls that are bearing any loads. That's pretty important, because then you have a solid concrete structure that's on itself. Walls come in last. You could even not put any walls in, only glass. But this is the structure. No walls needed for the structure. Walls are only aesthetics or optics. Dutchcraft builders, yeah. because yeah, when you have a lot of weight carrying on a block wall, and the blocks are got to support that, then well, obviously a cinder block can carry way less than one of our columns. Now, what I would like to emphasize as well is our focus on precision formwork. Normally, a lot of times in construction, the finishing of the concrete work is pretty rough, like sometimes off by 2 inches, 3 inches, because they're used to cover it up with plastering. Plastering can make everything look really nice and beautiful, but we like to make it really nice and beautiful straight out of the form. That way you only use like thin pieces, thin layers of plaster. That will save actually money in the long run, and you have a better product. That's why you would need, for instance, high quality formworks, new, not used. We put all these braces in for our support because there must be any movement in the formwork before you pour. Let me show you how we do the wiring in the ceiling. What you usually see is pipes being laid in the formwork, so that later on, when everything is done, the electrician can come by and run its wires through those pipes. Therefore, they are usually bigger pipes because then it's easier to run wires through them. But I don't like big pipes in my concrete because it would mean like it's a weak spot, a big empty pipe in my slab. I don't like it. I want to have it as thin as possible, so it's real easy to do that. You just run your wires through the hose before you put it in, and that's it basically. Then you don't need to run the wires afterwards. These wires, they go through the beam, you see. Like when I told you cannot run a big pipe through your beam, well, you can get away with a thin hose like this. So this is already in there and it's all ready to go. So it's then down there ready to be connected to the whole electrical system of the house. It's real simple, but it's really a good way to go about with the wiring. Yeah. Now, what we are proud of at Dutchcraft Builders is that we take very much care in margin of error in our formworks, because what we aim for is when we take off this formwork, it will be just clean as a whistle and completely flush and straight and just like a sheetrock. But it's not sheetrock, it's pure concrete, because I really don't like working with sheetrock. In my idea, it's used to cover up your mistakes, and I mean, if you just make a perfectly flat ceiling of solid pure concrete, why would you need any sheetrock? I mean, sheetrock, I've seen ceilings out of sheetrock, then they turn dark spots where leakage occur or filtrage through the roof. But once you see that spot, it's already way too late, because that means that it's been dripping up there for weeks or months or who knows. And then once you see it, you're probably about in the phase that you will need to replace the whole sheetrock roof. Now, here, what we do here, there's no need to worry about that. This is just pure, solid. Oh, of course, it's as of yet, it's only the formwork, so I can say it's nice and clean and solid, but you'll have to see when we take it off, right? But you'll see. Now we make sure that where the two plywoods meet each other, there is not even an eighth of an inch difference. It needs to be exactly at the same line. We use our laser level on top of it to make sure that also, because from the distance from here to there, it's 12 meters. That's very difficult to get exactly level with just a wire or yeah, whatever. It's not. You need a laser. It's good. Yeah, and gotta make sure that all your connections are secured and fastened. Better 2 screws too many than 1 screw too little, you know. Take your time when building this formwork, because I mean, pouring it is only like a couple hours work with the pump truck, and it's a lot of money and a lot of work. So better just make sure you're absolutely comfortable before you order your concrete truck, that you're absolutely comfortable, nothing can go wrong here. Look here, you get the wire coming through for the, this one is going to be for the ceiling fan right there. So we have an electrical system that runs through the columns all the way around the house. These are already in place. There are already tubes in these columns, so I can later on run all these wires just simply through them. Yeah. Just got to know where you want to put everything beforehand. That's pretty important, because I don't like to build a house and then afterwards start thinking about where I want to have my light or my power outlet. So over here, as you can probably see, we have a high section of beam. This is like 2.5 feet high. We need that measurement, so because we have a large overspan over here. There's going to be big open doors here, so we cannot put an extra column in there. So that's why we have a big heavy beam on top of that. Now, the higher your formwork is, the more it tends to, when you pour the concrete, it tends to go out and wants to expand. And yeah, that's more complicated the higher it gets. So that's why in this case, we not only put thread rods through the top and the middle section of the beam, but Don also placed all these supports on the outside, so that it's really nice and tight. Now we have to put support here with these tensions, so that way it can support its load. It's coming on nice and tight there.
Oh yeah.
Without grease, it doesn't work very well. Right, Frank?
Not a bit. It's all rusted.
Yeah, it's a nice way of doing this, because you can really set tension on your structure with every turn, just a little bit more, a little bit less. It's really nice to work with, instead of making everything correct to size, and it's also a way faster way of working. Nice and tight, Frank?
It is. It's a flying buttress.
So now, why you want to have adjustable stanchions is, for instance, while building this beam, when it's adjustable, I can put an aluminum straight rod up there and go nice and see exactly just a little bit more up, a little bit more down. Yes, there it is. And then we know precision formwork. Now, if you do it with a stick or wood, and you have to make it right to fit, well, that's first of all, that's a lot of work. But sometimes people, they just don't have that much eye for detail, and they will just stick them under there, and you cannot achieve precision formwork like that. It's almost impossible. So in next episode, we will be taking off all of these formworks, and you will get to see our nice little surprise made by Dutchcraft builders. Yeah, that's even nicer to see than unwrapping a column. This is really what it's all about. So that's what you're going to see next time. Also next time we will be having the patio done. So that's the footings and the beams for the patio in front. And well, you'll see, it's going to be nice.
You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground.